What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? Man, it's me, your big partner, Cartoon 5-3. Man, I'm back again. Man, I just put a video out a couple of days ago, and the video was supposed to be about the difference between black mothers of today versus other races' mothers of today and yesterday. But of course, in the process of me telling the video, I proceeded to tell y'all about an incident that happened when I was with my auntie, and we went over one of her friends' house, and she had a helter skelter up in there, the little boy. Y'all thought that was real funny. Okay. Well, I can't do nothing but tell it like it is. But from the response from that video, it told me to let them know about the other time. Let them know about the other time. I've had 2 encounters with people that had stuff going on with them that at the time I was unaware of or could not understand. Now, the time when I was with my auntie, that was back when I was like 7 or 8. We gonna fast forward all the way to 1982. 1982, I think I was 18 years old. If I can remember right, I think I was 18, and I was just getting out of White. I had been out maybe 3-4 days. Now, you got to look. Back then, at that time, I was not as worldly then as I am now. It's a lot of stuff that goes on with people, children, grown people, that I didn't understand, didn't know nothing about. And so when stuff would pop up like this, it would catch me off guard. And I'm an animated person. Most times I don't have no filter. I will say some stuff. I will do some stuff. Man, I got that from my mama, man. I got it legitly. I got it legitly. So anyway, this is the second time that something like this happened. And it threw me for a loop, y'all. Now, have other things happen, years and years and years and years and years later. I would see certain stuff, but now I was aware of it. I became well-read and understood what was going on. I understood the assignment years later, but back then, no, I didn't even know the assignment was even issued out to understand it, Man, listen, 1982, I just got out of Hawaii. I'm going to make this one quick. Man, I just got out of Hawaii. At this time, we used to kick it on 116th and Avalon real tough. We used to kick it down there real tough. We used to be right there on like 113th or 114th, one of them streets, at the motorcycle club. It used to be a little motorcycle club set right there on Avalon, right around the corner from the churches. At this time, us and the 11 Deuce in hoods used to kick it in there real tight. This before the beef started. So anyway, we would always find ourselves getting on the bus. I think that was the 51 bus that went straight down Avalon. We would get on the 51 bus right there on 51st. We'd pile on deep. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Take that straight shot down the A-line at Avalon and get off right there on Avalon Imperial and just walk right there to the A-line apartments on 116th and kick it. Then we might jump back on the bus right there on Avalon and Imperial, shoot back to 51st. Or sometimes we'd get off on 88th right there at the Avalon Gardens. We'd get off on Avalon and Manchester. Or before then, and go to the Avalon Garden. But back then we was utilizing. No, I take that back. We wasn't going to the Avalon Gardens back then. We were just going from the 50s to the 100s, at this time, because us and 11 Sixes was real tight at this time. So man, look, sometimes we'd get off. I told y'all a story about when me and a couple of the homegirls got into it up in Locke. And we had to pick them up and put them down, man. We had to get up out of there at a fast rate of speed. Now, the homegirl, Lady Blue and Lady Nut from 116 Avalon, They stayed right across the street. I think that was right there on 113th, if I can remember right. 112, one of them streets. But they straight across the street. And so we would hang out at their house, ditch at their house, and all that. And then just run around. So look, man. Long story short with this thing. Boy, I tell you, man, sometimes stuff just pop up that just throw you. Man, I never forget, man. I walked up, I got on the bus. I walked up to the bus stop on right there on 51st and Avalon. At the time, I didn't have a car yet. I'd only been out maybe about 10 days at the most. Might have been 10 days at the most. I hadn't got me a car yet. But I was G'd up that day. Man, I had on the powder blue Cascade. I had on the powder blue Cascade shirt. Y'all, that's not real steeped in this gang paraphernalia from back in the day when we wore it like a uniform. Y'all not gonna know what a Cascade shirt is. But basically, it's a ducktail dress shirt. You know what I'm saying? We tee that thing up like the first button or either the first 3 buttons. We either did the 1 or the 3, straight up. Bang, with the slingshot on up under it. Though those who don't know what a slingshot is, that's a Cali term for what y'all nowadays call a wife beater. Man, we had the black stretch belt on with the A on the front. Man, I had some black khakis with some black Stacey Adams on. Never forget it, man. Now, back in the day, Stacey Adams was a regular staple for our gang paraphernalia. We used to put the taps on our shoes. We put the taps on the front and put the taps on the back. We be walking, well, we be clicking. Or man, we be sea walking and that click, clack, click, click, clack, 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 clack. You know what I'm saying? We get that was our thing. But now the thing is, anybody from back in the day, they know when it come time to get down, man, it was kind of hard because you was gonna be slipping. Them Stacey Adams, especially with them taps on her, boy, you be trying to fight and catch your balance, man, you slipping. You slipping all over the place. I seen a few dudes get done in, meet their demise, because they done slipped with them Stacey Adams on trying to fight. Been there and done that myself. But so anyway, I had them Stacey's on. Of course, I didn't have nothing in my mind about trying to fight or anything like that. I'm G'd up. I'm instead. I had the cane with the 3 blue rags, all that. So wow, man, I mess around, shoot up to South Park, kick it with a couple of homies, seen a couple of homegirls, seen a homegirl Trey girl on there. They like, where you going? I'm like, man, I'm finna go down on 116. They like, we gonna go to. I'm like, well, shoot, come on, let's go. They were like, nah, we got something to do. We gonna come down there later on. You gonna be down there? I'm gonna be down there all day. So they was like, all right, so cool. I bounced. I get on the bus right there on 51st. Now the only tricky part about this was, but we weren't really tripping, especially in 1982. That bus go all the way through Swan Hood, you know, and it stop on 79th, might stop on 83rd, it might stop on Florence, it stop on all these streets. But like I say, if I can remember correctly, in 82, we wasn't really worried about it back then. Things didn't, far as we was concerned, things didn't get rough with them till moving on up into like 85 and on. But anyway, man, I'm going down there. I'm on the back of the bus. I got my hand on the cane. So now look, it was a lady sitting across from me with a little child, with a little boy. And now the little boy, he couldn't have been no older, y'all, than about maybe 5, 6 at the most. He's sitting there, and they was black. They was black. They wasn't white, Hispanic. They wasn't none. They was black, especially back then. So I'm sitting there. I ain't tripping on nothing, man. I'm, waiting for the bus to get to the set down there so I can kick it with the homies. So, man, I heard something go, frog. I looked. So I'm looking at, what? Now the bus full. The bus full, but ain't nobody standing up. At this time, everybody was sitting down. So I'm knowing it comes from right there. So I look at the lady and I look at the little youngster. Now I'm going to go ahead and give y'all what happened. Anybody out there have you ever heard of Tourette's? At that time, I had never heard of Tourette's. I didn't get up on Tourette's till years and years and years and years later. But the little boy had Tourette's. Now, for those who don't know what Tourette's is a condition where, you know what I'm saying, people, whether they're young or old, will just they'll be sitting there seemingly normal, or they might be holding a conversation with you normally, like it ain't nothing. And out of nowhere, they will just make an outburst, like say anything. Sometimes it be profanity. Some of them say profanity. Some of them do all type of stuff. But it'll just blurt out, and they have no control of it. They can't stop it. None of that. It's just what it is, you know. But now, for a person who don't know nothing about Tourette's, for a person who don't know that this type of outburst is finna come out of someone, it will startle you. Yes, it will startle you, and it startled me. I'm sitting on the bus, and what the little youngster was doing, he was growling, and then he'd holler frog. I didn't know what he was hollering at first, but he'd growl, frog, and look like he ain't did nothing. So the first time he did it, it shocked me. I looked, I'm like, man, like in my mind, I'm like, man, what did he say? What did he say? I'm sitting there kicking it. Man, a few minutes later, I hear, frog. I look. So I look at the lady, and she gonna smile at me. She holding the little boy hand, and she gonna smile at me. Lady, why you smiling? Did you not hear what your son or what this child just did? What's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? Yeah, what's wrong with him? Because I don't know. He growling and hollering frog. What? Is his skin tender? And you've been tenderizing it? What's wrong with that little boy? So by this time, now I'm kind of like, I'm watching him now. I'm like, man, what's up with this? Like, and he be looking straight ahead. And he'd just turn his head like toward me a little bit. I'm watching him now. As his head turned, I'm leaning back. Like, what he finna do? I hope he ain't going on the attack like Abigail. So he turned and he looked. He said, frog. I said, oh no, oh no, Nope. I don't know what's wrong with him. I know I didn't do anything to him. Now the lady, she's sitting there, she gonna turn his head around and pat him on the arm like, it's okay. It's okay, baby, it's okay. No, it's not okay. Something wrong with him. I didn't know at the time what it was. I understand now, but at that time, no, I'm like, man, what the heck? So now I'm looking dead at him. I done beamed down on him. If he was right here, I done turned my head and I'm looking dead at him like, hey man, what's up with Peppercorn here? Peppercorn got something going on. Man, listen, that little boy was sitting there and he'd start turning his head again. I was like, oh, here it come. I'm like, oh, here it come. Here it come. And he turned. Frog! Oh, wow. That's it. That's it. It's time for me to go. Now, I didn't want to just get up and stand up on these folks' bus, but I need to get away from what little Kilroy got going on here. Little Kilroy is on a whole different level. I got to go. So I'm like, man, I stood up with the keys and I'm sitting there. You know how back in the day, the back door of the stairs, they go down. You could stand down in the stairwell and wait for the door to open up and just get off. Now, where we was at, I didn't really want to get off yet. Even though, no, I didn't want to get off where we was at. I needed to go down a few more blocks first. So I'm standing in the well. I got my hand on the cane. It used to be a little metal thing that goes down. You can like see over the top, look at the people. I got my hand up on that. I'm standing there because now when we get down about 4-5 more blocks, I'm finna ding ding, let me up off this bus. Cause Kilroy over here acting like he wanna be by himself. And I'm gonna oblige him. I'm gonna get the F away from around him. I didn't know what was wrong with him. I had never seen nothing like that. I never, it was, hey, I'm not trying to, clown the disabled, but like I say, at that time, I just didn't understand, He's sitting there looking like a sweet little innocent little dude. And he's sitting there twiddling down with his hands, doing whatever he's doing. And I'm looking at him, and all of a sudden, this is what he do. His head come up real slow. So as it come up, he looking dead at me. So I leaned out like, man, what? What he finna do? I said, here it come again. And when he looked up, here it come, y'all. Frog! A do tell. Man, listen. I don't know what this frog at this time. I don't know what the frog did to him. I don't understand what the growling was about, nor did I understand. Out of all the words to holler, he hollering frog. So now the lady, she was like, now she said something. She was like, excuse me, he don't mean no harm. I was like, all right, all right. But it's time for me to get off this bus. Off this bus. Man, I finally got off that bus with the quickness. I had to get away from him, y'all. I had never experienced anything like that. I didn't know it. I don't know. Hey, man. Hey. The skin is tender. And I don't want it tenderized. Especially by little Kilroy here. No. 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 He might have been a little X-Man. He might have had strength that I didn't know he had. Just grab me by the fingers and just twist both my fingers off and go to eating them or something. Ooh. He might think they frog legs. That might be his thing. Hey, frogs got him, y'all. But I don't know what it was. But like I say, I'm aware of it now. I don't make fun of people's disabilities, but now I'm gonna tell a story what happened and how it was at that time. That's how it went down. But anyway, man, in the meantime, between time, man, tell the people you love them, man. And don't never forget, homie, I represent the gangsters, the Avalon gangsters. I'm out. Peace.